Hello.
Alexander, did you start recording?
Yes.
I see, but we need to have Thomas on this call first.
Yes, I don't know where he is. No, I know where he is. Munich.
Yeah. Alexander, could you please switch off the recording and switch on later, or it will not be possible. I do not remember.
I'm not sure. I can
Yes, but
stop
why
and
why you rush? Okay, so waiting for Thomas.
Hello?
Hello, uh, Yegor. Could you please mute yourself?
Sorry?
Could you please mute yourself?
Okay.
We are waiting for Thomas now. So Thomas is trying. Hello, Thomas.
Hello, got it. It's
Cool.
at least which browser you're using basically because it doesn't work well with if you don't use Chrome.
Okay. Okay. So, but we are here and we hear you well. So, guys, the topic is I know the document you sent us. We read it together and discuss this document. But Thomas, this call is recording. Just do not bother you several times to ask you stupid questions several times. So
Sure.
let's. Could you please show us how you are developing pages now, as you did last call we have together? And could you please describe, probably not in big in details, but just briefly, what you are doing when you're developing and why it's so important to keep the same behavior for developer to or to support. Okay.
Yes, I'm going to do that as soon as everything started.
Okay. Okay.
We're
Okay.
gonna.
Next, yes. Until it starting. Um, I have a question. I saw it's a good idea to have a to have a face-to-face meeting. Probably draw some boxes and arrows between them together and discuss some technical details. And I cannot choose right time frame for that. Um, I don't know because um, this Friday you are going to leave early. Next Tuesday is the day
I'm
off.
using all Fridays to leave early, basically because I have to travel home 300 kilometers.
Yeah. I see you. It's okay, Thomas. I do not blame you. I just trying to understand what's the best time to visit you and catch you at office and sit together and work on architectural things.
Basically, I'm thinking that most of this can be done remotely or through web meetings. But if you want to, you can. Let's say I'm here this week. Next week, I'm working from home. The week after that, I'm working in Munich again, and after that, the first 2 weeks of September, I'm in holiday.
I see. I see. So you need somebody who will substitute you on
Basically,
support.
there's no one that substitutes me.
Yeah, I understand. Completely. I mean, try to substitute you probably in a support as well, because you have customers and they need to have some support. I don't
Yeah, but
know.
but not for discussion with you.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so how is running?
Okay, let's take a look at what we have here. I want to settings, adjust camera, no mute, control room, screen share. I'm going to share my screen. So basically, what we're doing here is that we have a not all-in-one approach, but for us, when you develop in Domino, the database, so which holds the data, which holds the design, and which holds everything, is the same as the database that holds the data. So we don't have a difference between SQL database, for example, PostgreSQL or whatever, and design. You must keep in mind, everyone must keep in mind that database, data, and design in Domino is the same. Okay?
Okay.
Anyone any question for that? Okay,
No,
that's what you have. That's what you have to keep in mind.
Okay.
Always. Next thing is we don't have a relational database.
Yeah.
Domino is not relational. Domino is the first NoSQL database that was there. It's still a NoSQL database. You can think of it as a NoSQL database, document oriented. It's like MongoDB with some additional features, or what's it called? Cassandra. Yeah, Cassandra is the best thing to be compared with that. What we basically do is we have 5 different base databases. There are more, but 5 different base databases. We have the log numbers, we have the portfolio, we have projects, resources, and timesheets. Within the log numbers, this is the thing where we, for example, we store document locking. So if you open a document and you edit it, and you have activated document locking, then you are locking the document through another lock document within that database. Okay. If you look at the whole designer, this is the Domino designer you're seeing. You see that it's pretty much Eclipse. You also see that if you look, for example, through to let's say to window, you can show the Eclipse views for that. You see this is Eclipse based. So all our developers' knowledge is Eclipse within that. Now within an application, I have forms, views, which are like tables. It can be seen like tables, like indexes on tables. Not the tables themselves, but indexes on tables. Yeah, we have folders which we are not using. Folders are a kind of view. We have the X pages, which is a different way to develop applications. Custom controls that belong to the X pages. We could use frame sets, which are no longer used. We can use pages. Pages are kind of a form, but with a quirk. We have some shared elements, which are subforms, fields, columns, outlines, and navigators. We do have a lot of code in there. Code can be agents. Agents are like SQL processes. Yeah, so they can be written, or let's say SQL stored procedures. Yeah, they can be written. They are doing things on documents. They are giving data back to the user. In our case, it's something we are doing. Basically, they can process a bunch of documents, and they could process a bunch of documents dependent on the different events. That's what they're doing. We have shared actions, which were within the Notes client, but are no longer touched within the web. We have script libraries. Script libraries are used nearly everywhere. Script libraries can be Java libraries or Lotus script libraries. We have a database script. A database script is bundled if you call special events for the database. Then we can use build web service providers, which is WSDL version 1.1. Yeah, not 1.2, not 2, nothing. WSDL 1.1. That's what IBM supports in this case. And we can use web service consumers, which is also WSDL 1.1. Then we are able to use Java to add Java or to add jars. We have data and data connections, which is something that's totally dominant internal. We don't touch that. We can use, and that's what we are using pretty much, we can use resources. In the log nums, for example, we have right now all the resources that we are using, for example, for our dojo. This is a lot of PNG files, and there are also GS files, the editor, the language dependent things. That's everything is in there. This is something we are building, not here, but we are importing that. Okay. Now
you import. One second. You import it from. It's a library, right? So you just.
It's not just one library.
Yeah, of course. There are many libraries.
This is something that's done within SVN. This here application. And if you look at def and the structure of def, this is the structure of def, and yes, you will see that structure of def. For example, image, you have prod, image, icons, image, icons. You're going to see that here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the same is, for example, for GS, and within this one here will be the fun part, because that's defining, most of the time defining a web front end, but with some quirks. That's the problem we are having in here, because, for example, we have the action menu GS, but this is not the only one. We are doing the same thing. This is using some part of Dojo to get the actions, and this is used to display the actions in the correct way. We'll see that, but explaining that will definitely be a really lengthy task. But I'm just giving you the short overview right now. Okay.
Okay.
So. Well, fields, then we have the, the images, files, applet style sheets. We can use style sheets too, which are in here. We could use themes for that. We have an about and using domino, which is domino specific. Basically, we have a database icon. This too is domino specific. Domino has what it's called composite applications, where you can wire applications together. But this is something that's not touching us, and even the application configuration is not touching us. For example, as you see, IBM is running into Bluemix. Yeah, so you can. No, I don't want to have that. You can you can add this to Bluemix. You have application properties, XFP properties. Application properties, for example, define how application is handled. Yeah, the basics. So what's my name? What's my title? Can I use JavaScript when generating pages? Do I require SSL connection? I want to allow URL open or not. I don't want to allow you to open the Notes browser plugin, which is a special browser that was built for the Notes client. I want to enable enhanced HTML generation, and so on, and so on, and so on. Depending on the launch, what will I do when I launch the Notes client? What will I do when I launch it through a web browser? Design, is it a, and that's the way, that's when it becomes a little bit domino specific. As a domino database can be both. It can be design, so compute how's the form built, what's the code, where's the source code, and so on. And it can be data. So I can build a template. Template is something that I can use to copy an application over and over again into a new application.
It's a template of what? Of application, or
it's a template
page?
Of application. No, it's an application page. What do you think about page? What is your current page?
Okay, so page is a part of some application.
Basically, it's an application, the full application, not the page.
Okay, it's a full application. Okay.
The full application can be used can be inherited from a master template. So I can say, okay, hey guys, this application gets its design, which is any page, any design element from a master template, or it can be a master template. So that means I am a master template. My design can be propagated into other applications. So basically, if I, for example, have one lognum template, I can create 100 lognum databases out of that with the design and the documents which I have in the design. So for example, if I have a settings document within that, yeah, I have created a master template and I have built some setting documents so that I know I have some default settings. And when I create a new database out of that master template, then I'm going to create not only the design and copy that over to, but I'm also copying all the setup documents into the new application. I don't have to rewrite them from scratch.
Okay.
I can also use, and that's one of the really things I can, for example, here I can say, okay, I want to lock the design, so basically no one sees me with, no one sees the design that's that the design of the database. This is like if I lock the design, for example, in JavaScript, you will always only get the objects. So you just get the compiled code. Yeah, you will not be able to read through the code. You will not be able to see the code. You will not be able to debug the code. You just get the compiled code. Another thing that's built into Nodes is the international options. You can build any database as a multilingual database, which is something which we didn't do, but that's something that I want to have on the new front end. Yeah, because what we are doing right now is we're delivering, for example, if you have a French, a German, and an English version, we're delivering 3 different versions, and I don't want to have that any longer within the front end. I want to have one version, okay, and whatever language, that's just language files as we did it in the HTML planner. Okay.
Okay. Okay. And you are going to keep this mechanism to create templates and
sure. Yeah, we need to.
pages.
We need to create this mechanism. You need to keep that mechanism to create templates because of that, and that's one of the reasons why I say we need to find a way to get the code in there. But we're gonna check through that. Yeah. So right now here, X pages, we don't touch that. Advanced and some other settings for that. There are some settings. One setting that's crucial, maybe crucial for us, is this one here, allow dominant data servers, because this is something I'm going to show you, which we may be able to use to fetch data a little bit easier than we do it right now. But we need to check that. Okay. Now, how is that working? I'm going to take a form that's not that complex. Yeah. For example, let's say this one here. This is one of the easier things. Yeah. We have things in there that are much more complex. So if you look at that in the web, you see that it's a mix. Basically, the whole thing is saying, okay, hey guys, I'm going to be delivered as HTML. This is what this is doing. Yeah, it's saying, okay, yeah, deliver. So we are fetching, for example, here. This is the first thing we are having. We are having subforms. Subforms are like templates within templates. So, for example, I have a header var subform, and I'm using that subform everywhere. So any form I have has this subform integrated, which is giving me the HTTP cookie, its production, Dojo version, Dojo path, GS global, global header, prod.js, which are fields. Yeah, these are fields, text fields. Then I've been writing some script language in there. Yeah, we're gonna take a look at that and that header var later on. After that, here's something in the document. I have a $$ return, which is a shared field. I have some save options. Save option 0 says, okay, this needs to be saved. Oh, this needs to not be saved. This is not saved. So basically, if your save options is 0, then if you submit the document, it will not be saved. This is my access level. Here I have, for example, a formula language in there. So basically, it's saying, okay, if I have that access level, that field is computed when the form is composed. So this is a type of field that says, okay, this field name is a number. That field is computed when the form is composed. The computation is made through that. This is a formula language, add text to number, add subset, add user access, add DB name. So basically this is saying, okay, what's my database name? What's this user's access? I want to have the subset of the user access of DB name and the subset 1, and please convert that to a number. And this is something we will see in the a lot. Yeah, this is something we'll see a lot. Then we have the categories. Yeah, this is hard coded in there. We have the agent's name, for example, which is already also hard coded in there. We have the agent's title, which is using the, let's say it's computed and saying, okay, I want to have to replace substring agent's title. Okay, nice. Yeah, but where does this field come from? We're seeing here that we're saying, okay, I want to replace subject agent. If it has a opening and a closing bracket, then I want to replace it with blank, with nothing. Yeah. Same on agent status, agent server is nothing. Agent level is nothing. So they're all computed when composed, but they are empty. Again, a computed subform. This one is different to that. Yeah. Because it's computed, it could be written like that, basically. So this one is hardly entered. If I enter it like that, yeah, I can do it here. I can also enter a subform like that. Create resource. It's a subform. I want a subform general. Yeah, okay. Subform general. Both have a field entitled save options. Okay. So you see, I have that one here, subform general, and I have that one. That would both be the same. The crucial thing is in here that this one has as the normal subform the save options field. So basically, I have two save options fields in there, but both is the same. I could write enter a subform like that, computed subform, and write the subform like that. That would give me the save option fields twice. And I can give it, I can do it like that. Yeah, subform general, which will show me the subform. Computed subform is mostly done when I want to do it like adding a subform related to formulas. I'm going to remove that again because it's not something I want to have. Again, here you see some of the perks. Basically, this one here, yeah, for example, this one here is, if I look at that, that's passed through HTML. So basically, this text in here is handled if the server delivers that is handled as HTML. So the server says, I don't do anything with that. That's passed through HTML. Deliver it as HTML. In that case, for example, he's going to deliver it and convert it. Yeah, this is something that he's delivering and converting. Now we're going to take again here. We have something.
What do you mean delivering and converting?
Basically,
server.
The dominant server. The dominant server is an HTML, a full classified HTML server.
Yeah, it's clear. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's and you can mix. That's one of the things you can mix formulas and, for example, fields and HTML, and use HTML within the fields. We're going to take a look at an example for that later on too. And you can mix up everything. Again, here, there's a mix of HTML pass-through, yeah, some text, which is within the table definition. You see that's a header, yeah, a header for that. And Next thing we have, this for example is a field. Yeah, this field itself, again, you see, is a div. It's a setting basically. Yeah, you see here. I'm going to replace the substring top section, which is something that is defined. Yeah, and there are values within the top section: ID, title, first, wives, display, display1, display2, and they are replaced with display1, display2. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, twisty, on click, current class sect. 99 ID is 99. Agents is title. Underscore first is first. White equal 100 is that one. Boom, 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 boom. None is this one. Block is display2. Twisty is on left. On click is no click. Cur handover is cur normal, and class is not replaced. No, class is replaced with empty. So class is replaced with empty. That's it. So basically it's saying, hey, there's a list here and a list here. And please, in that field, top section, which is a defined field, replace anything that is in here, that is that with that, that with that, that with that, and put it in there as an HTML. To make the mix more complex. It's really complex.
Yeah. Yes, but I see it's complex. And okay, let's continue and let's clarify and set some goals. What we need to do.
To make the mix more complex within that, we also have what's called computed value. Computed values are text that is computed on the fly. So if let's say if I load that form will be run through a processor, and all the formulas will be computed, and anything that is a computed value will be replaced by that computed value in here. So basically, it's agents title 1 in here. And here I have, well, boom, boom, boom. Then I have a section back, bottom section. I can, for example, use the top section, yeah, which I use here. I can use that. We see that in one of the more complex forms, which are in our databases. I can use that at any point, at any time. And this is defined once, and then I'm just replacing it and using it all the time. So if I have a dsec2 that has some other values, I can use a dsec2, replace top section, same thing, doing it. Okay. Well, that's a pretty simple form. I will show you how it works. There are some things within the form. Within the form, I have well, globals. I have options. I can define an HTML head content that is delivered as HTML head. Yeah, in this case, I'm saying, okay, boom, boom, boom. This is something that's always delivered on any as soon as I deliver that. I can deliver HTML body attributes within that. I am able to define a web query open agent. We're going to take a look at that later on. I can define a web query safe. I can define a target frame, which we don't do. I can get GS header with me, which is JavaScript running in the web. Yeah, JavaScript or common JavaScript, can use both. I can can define what delivers on help, what works on load, on unload, on click, on double click, blah, 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 blah. Anything in here. I have this too, but these are just client functions, so we will not touch them. But we'll have all of that in there, in the form.
Okay, and how data come to this form?
Basically, data is fetched from the document. So if I open, let's say we're gonna go over here, set up agents. We're gonna use that. We're going to take a look at one of the documents in here. So basically, a document is built and normally has a form name. So, for example, if I use my document, I have a unique form. Yeah, unique form is a form name. These are the values within that form. Through the definition, through this definition, I'm going to take that one here, that one here. So, because that's a unique form. So this one is here. I'm going to fetch one here. This is the name. This is the name of this form. And as you see here, this is here. Yep. So if I open any document, the form field defines how it should be displayed. And these forms are just that. They are used to display data. They are not defining the table. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, it's completely clear. So we get data by these fields, and later we can use these fields in a JavaScript code.
Right. Yeah. So you have the categories here. The last one display now, for example, that's another example in here. We have still the example in here. So basically, same thing here. This is my header bar subform. I was using it in here. I'm also using it in here. This is my subform general. I was using it in here. I'm using the same subform with its function in here. Think of it when you look at React, it's like templating. Basically, if you build React templates, small templates, that's how it works in here too. Yeah. There are some fields that we have just in that form. There's another submenu which is with an action bar, so we'll take a look at that too. And after that, we're going to tell, okay, well, this is my computed subform, this is my desktop overflow, begin layout, what's my layout, and so on and so on and so on. Header, this is my header title. Yeah, this is a field. We're going to take a look at that. This is a computed field. Nothing in there for especially nothing in here. Yeah. We'll come to that later on. This is my categories fields. Now categories, this is a field that can have an input translation, which is the formula. This is saying, okay, hey, if you have a lot of categories, then please trim that. So basically remove all leading trailing spaces, remove all empty values, because this one can contain leading or trailing spaces, and this leading or trailing spaces should be trimmed because this is a category, and the category should really not be used with leading and trailing spaces. Last yep, default installation. There's nothing in there. Well, we're gonna see for that. There are some hidden fields. Hidden fields are quite nice because this is hidden from Node and web browsers, but it's still accessible through, for example, JavaScript. So basically, I'm delivering a field that's called subject, but you won't see in the backend, but you won't see it. Okay. Same for that hidden field. There's another thing. So if you, for example, if you use a field on the form and you hide that field from the form, the field will be delivered to the HTML, but you will not see it. You can use it, but you will not see it in the front end if you don't use it anywhere. So different header on load events, on double click events, for example. On double click, this is something that's a call, yeah, to a JavaScript library, and this says toggle edit mode. That means, okay, please switch that. If you double click on the document, switch the document to edit mode. There's no web query, open web query save. Well, simple agents. Now we take a look at a simple agent, which is web query open agent stock. This is the one. So basically, this is as soon as you click the document to open it, before it at least delivers you the document, and that's something that is responsible for some of the time lags when you use Domino servers, especially when you use opening documents. It's running an agent before it delivers the document. It gives you the document context, it gives you the status, and this agent may change data on the document that is delivered before it gets delivered to you. Taking a look at that, well, yeah, this is what get agent status. So basically, this one you've seen agent titles in the agent document, right? Now what this is doing basically, it's fetching all the agents. This is doing following. It's fetching all the agents that are on this specific database. This is going through the agent set of database through the database get agent function. Yeah, fetching all the agents with its agent names, and then it's going to build that fields within the document before it will be delivered to you. So if I look at this one here, we've seen that, and that. Yeah. This is agent status empty. No, it's not empty. It's filled. It's filled through that. Okay. No one's listening. No one's asking questions. I'm a good explainer, or are you all overwhelmed?
We are here actually, and we are thinking what we can do here in these conditions, and how we can help you actually. Yeah. So
I'm going to tell you. Well, really, this is basics. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's continue.
I'm going to open another thing. So let's do that a little bit more complex. No, not more complex. First, that one. Pages are like forms. The only thing that is different on pages is they do not contain fields. So pages cannot be saved, but pages are used somewhere, partially. For example, for displaying dialog boxes to you, or getting content back to you. We're going to take a look at one of the more complex forms. As soon as this is ready. Okay. Within that one, you see it's much more complex in here. Yeah. For example, much more setup forms, a lot of different other forms. Basically, you can say, okay, for example, if I have a form type, let's say doc pending, which is to do, yeah, then this is my form equals data. But the doc pending, I can also build another document, for example, doc pending 1, and use that to open a document with another form. So maybe if you for example have a project application, yeah, and have a project form, and I would be able to build a project form small, and a project form big, and a project form very big, which has different angles to be looked at and at the application, and then I could build these 3 forms, and any of that form would use project form as data, but will do its own display, yeah, its own presentation metrics to the user. We didn't use it that way though, so that's fine for me. So we're going to take a look at one of the more complex forms in here, project form. Hide that. So thank you. So again, multiple computed subforms. Yeah. Some things that are not computed, for example, the form field is not computed. We're using that. So we're saying, okay, this is my project form. We have icons, type, blah, 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 a lot of fields. Yeah. Depending on where we get them from. We have the subform general, blah, 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 blah. All of them not new. So now that's where the fun starts. For example, here we have a description at a project start, and we want to have the expected launch date, and we have a display expected launch date. If I look at expected launch date, that's the field, and that has a default value of at today. So when I open the document the first time, the default value of expected launch date will be today. It also has HTML attributes. For example, this is where am I going to use to display it to you? And I'm going to use the Dojo type, digit form, date, text box, style, width, 80 pixels to use. So basically, this is one of our Dojo types saying, okay, if I have a date, I'm going to use that Dojo type with that style. This is displayed only so it is displayed in web browser, and it is displayed if it's previewed for editing, opened for editing, or copied to the clipboard. So if you're opening the document in edit mode, you're going to see that here with the digit form, date, text box, style, width, added to that. And to make the fun complete, the ID to switch that, to get that, is in here. You could have written the ID also in here. You could have written the Dojo type digit for text box also in here. That makes it a little bit funny to find things. And I want to simplify that. If you're accessing the document in display mode, then you're going to see this here, which has a different ID, which will be shown only when reading or embedded, which is computed for display. So it's only visible as long as you have the form on display. As soon as you quit the form, you're gonna you're not going to have that data any longer. Yeah, not with that name. You're still going to have expected launch date because that's not computed. That's a field. Yeah, but the computed for display fields are gone after that. And it has, as you've seen, it has no HTML attributes. You can see that here. Cannot define anything in there. Yeah, it just has an ID, and you can give them HTML tags. That's it. This is something you have, for example, for objectives too. Here we have another sample for doing things different ways. Yeah, in here the ID is objectives. It's not in here. It's in here. Another type, digit form text area. Different things you can put in here, classes, class, GPBig that you're using for the text area. Nice. So as you see, and that's what I'm trying to show you. Yeah, it's always a mix. The whole thing is a mix of how does it look?
JavaScript.
HTML, JavaScript, IDs, classes, everything mixed into each other thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, I got it. Guys, do you have any questions according to how it works now? Alexander, Igor?
I don't have, just maybe we need to check. We need to test it ourselves, I think. What do you think? We need some access to see how it works in this domino. No?
What do you need for access, basically? Because you will not see how it works in the Domino, because you don't have access to the Domino server and cannot debug the Domino server and how the Domino server is building that. Basically, what you can get is you can get let's say the Domino front end for that. But I think that's not the way I would like to do it. Yeah, because I'm going to show you something later on for that. Because what I would think about first, just to check if that's possible, yeah, I would build the whole thing from the outside in. So right now we are looking at how complex it is to program, and how I want to have less complexity in programming.
Mm-hmm.
We need to keep, for example, web query open and web query safe, because these things are doing things. Really, we need to keep them. So basically, if I'm submitting a document to the server, I want to submit it there. What I really want to do is what we really, I think, need basically to do is we will need the data for the form, because if you don't get the data in there, yeah, if you don't get that,
Yeah.
we will never have the data.
Yeah.
So we will need to keep the forms. But what I want to do, yeah, is I want to, let's say, get somehow rid of this absolute mix of things.
You would like to read off mix?
Yeah, basically this mix, yeah. So there's a fix in there, and there's a computer, well, the computer subform, which is going to get into that, and using WSF menu project description, and there's another subform that is fetching JavaScript, and so on and so on. So
yeah, you would like to read off or keep it?
I would like to simplify it. I guess we will not get rid of it. If we can get rid of that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And getting rid of that means I'm still able to not, well, let's say, not rebuild any form from scratch with any of that. Yeah. So this top 5 JavaScript is used everywhere. So in there are functions that I can use anywhere. Yeah.
Okay. First thing which come to my mind, it's we can use not only templates, we can use components, JavaScript components, which can be reused on different pages. So
if they can be loaded once, yeah, that's one of the other things. We're going to see a lot of things in there if you're going to scroll through the application.
Cool.
Yeah. So now take a look at the views. Views are basically, as we said, we have some things that this one are all hidden views. Hidden views are something that's used internally for.
Sorry, I don't hear you.
Or why not?
We can't hear you. Andrew, can you hear us?
I didn't do anything.
Oh, that's maybe a problem with internet in Andrew's office. So it's
I
the
can
problem.
hear. I can
Andrew,
hear you.
can you? Yeah.
Yes, I'm here. But you disappeared, guys. I didn't hear your voice. In any way,
it was your office, because we were hearing each other.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Okay, guys. So, Thomas, could you please probably repeat again what the goal and what's the goal, what we are going to do here, and how we can help you? Yeah, we have
the goal is to, the first goal and the massive goal is to replace Dojo, because you've seen in here, yeah, we're having, for example, in here we're having Dojo. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And
so that's the first thing we want to do. A second thing comes after that is simplifying the whole thing.
Okay, why we need to replace Dojo in this case?
Because we are on Dojo 161, and let's say we're having issues with Dojo 161 because Dojo 161 doesn't support any newer browser. And if we replace Dojo 161 with Dojo 1, I guess 12 or 13 or whatever's the actual one, the actual amount will be huge, and we will not have any benefit from that. So we cannot just replace Dojo. Let's say if I replace Dojo 161 with Dojo 8, I have to rewrite.
Okay, Thomas, I got it. And
I have to rewrite all of this.
Yeah, so you do not, in this case, we cannot guarantee or promise you that if we replace Dojo with a simple React, something will change it. Yeah, we will have just modern framework which has been used in some way, and there is no any other advantages. So we will have a platform which will help us to build something better later.
Yeah,
right.
Right. That's the goal. I need a platform that I can use as a base and build the whole thing from the ground up again. And that's why where React comes into play.
Okay.
The other thing is, the other goal for me, the other goal is that I cannot rip off all the knowledge we have as a design knowledge that is within that application. So basically, what we will not do, is we will not replace the Domino server as a server. Right now, we don't do that.
Yeah. Yes, I got it, and I completely understand you, and would say yes, for data storing, for complex logic which is behind storing the data and loading data from database, it's good to keep as is and separate UI and backend as more as possible. Probably not on this stage. Probably later.
Later. But we need to lay the foundations right now for that.
Okay, got it. And just to set the expectations, so that we are going to build some foundation which will help us to deliver more advantages later. And when, I don't know, we don't have any estimation yet for that. We need to start jump deeper and understand how to build it, because React, it's a one-page application. Yeah, it's a pattern, and here we must to replace it with a set of components, and they should communicate with each other somehow. And probably
React is not a one-page application. Yeah, the frame is one page. Yeah, and if you look at the front end of GP, it's as I told you, GP is something that tries to be a one-page application, but it doesn't. The code doesn't behave like one.
Yeah, I see.
So I'm going to show. Okay, complexity enough for that. For you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, really. Okay, we're going to take a look at GWU and at one of my applications in there. I'm going to show you later what this is. So basically, if you look at that, it's looking like a one-page application, and it handles itself like that. Yeah, you see, this is something that, but basically it's the same page. Yeah, still around.
Yeah.
But I'm just switching content inside. Again, the same page. I'm just switching content inside. Yeah. So switching in here. I'm gonna open a document. I'm gonna add another tab within the same page. That's why I was choosing React for that, because at least if you look at how this behaves, that is in fact a one-page application, even if it consists, and it's consisting of 5, 6, 7, 8 different applications. Yeah, if you look here, yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different applications. If you count in lock numbers 2, then we'll have 6. And we may have 7, 8, 9, 10 applications, but they all run within the same content. So if I for example, no, they're not all running within the same content. For example, if I switch here to templates, yeah, then I'm moving outside of the page, but this again is a one-page application. You see, the same as here, yeah. Just opening in a new tab. That's it. Now, for example,
actually there are 2 applications run in a different tabs.
This are
right?
Yeah, this is one-page application. This is another one-page application, which is basically the same application than this application.
Yeah, I see. But it loads. Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay for me. And okay. Igor, do you have any questions according to this? Probably notes.
I have general question about. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yep,
we
sure.
hear you.
Okay, I have one simple general question. There is a default way to build modern application like you have, or like you already have. This is the bunch of JavaScript code which just served from, I don't know, from some folders with some web, I don't know, Webpack or Nginx, and so on and so on.
No.
Also,
it's a Lotus server, and it's a Domino
yes,
server.
I understand. I want to understand the why we don't want to use the default way to build such applications.
Because we don't want to replace Domino Server.
Yes.
Right now, we do not replace Domino Server. And there's another thing in that. The Domino Server has inbuilt logic, for example, for accessing data, access control list, and so on, which is a huge benefit of that.
Yeah,
It's a mix of knowledge, existing. So why we're not replacing it? It's a mix of existing knowledge, management decisions. We have to keep that.
Okay, Thomas, I think I understand what Igor would like to ask. Yeah, we understand that there is a logic behind the save and load document. It's okay, it's clear. Igor, right?
Yes.
It's clear. Okay, and what we can do here, just an idea to set up new web server, not a Domino, but probably simpler, which will communicate to the Domino server and run all logic behind save and load document. And
Andrew, same as with HTML Planner, the answer will be no.
do you mean same way as we did for Planner?
Yeah.
It is not available here.
Yep. The same way as we did for Planner would be available, basically, but that would mean to do three things. The first thing is you're thinking of it as a standard solution, and it's not. Yeah, that's the one thing you have to get out of your mind. Basically, GP is not a standard solution that everyone uses in the same way.
Yes.
GP is on most of our bigger customers heavily customized, front end and back end. So basically, the approach to say, okay, I get a fix like Facebook, yeah, one web server, that's it, and you don't touch that, and this web server delivers everything. That's no way, yeah. Because if we would do that, then we would have to rebuild all the clusters. We would have to get massive amounts of time, of effort put into that.
Yeah. Yes, Thomas, but now we are going to do the same, but because we need to all custom code which you already developed for biggest clients, we will need to touch as well and redevelop using do
Yeah,
not
but
u-
but
and do
but
not use
but,
Jojo,
but
but
that's
use
Henry, but that's something that we can do basically through the known in the known ways. As I said, I have some developers in here, and they have their knowledge. I cannot rip and replace all the knowledge at once. I can rebuild it, yeah, but I cannot say, okay, hey guys, I'm gonna rip all your, I'm gonna take off all that you know and replace it by a new thing, and you don't know anything any longer. That's something I cannot do.
1 second. I don't think uh, it would be completely new because we still have a language, we still have a vocabulary of no, of a database. I mean document database. We keep all logics there. We just thinking how to replace UI in a modern way and keep it customizable, right? And teach your guys how to do customizations. Basically,
Well, the thing is,
it's a
Andrew, the thing is that the thing is that I don't know if you know how many time was put into that.
too much. It's
And
this
yeah,
task is not simple. I see it,
yeah.
and I think
And
the
the
effort.
thing is, what I don't want to do, what I don't want to do, because that was tried before within the company, and that got stuck. Yeah, what simply will not be workable or will not work is do a rip and replace in any way. Yeah, even with the UI. So yes, I know we would be able to develop the UI much faster with our tools. Yeah, true.
Mhm.
What we, for example, can do basically is we can use the mechanisms we have in there to, for example, to if we know how, yeah, and if it's working, we for example can use the way for computed subforms, for example, to build that subforms in a way that the Dynamics server puts them all together and delivers them to you as you said, as templates, yeah, as React templates, and put them all together. This will have its own issues, yeah, because if you use too many computed subforms, the Domino server will get slowed down.
Yes, but we are going to continue to use subforms and all this stuff. It means there is no any advantages
Yeah, but
in a
yeah,
performance
true. Yeah, true.
only one small step we will put a lot of effort, but we
Yeah.
will make a really small step and to yes, probably it would be a step in the right direction, but we will put a lot of effort to make it working with React and teach your guys to use React components as well, but inside active pages you have or no Domino server has, and after that probably we will move them out from Domino server at all. Uh, do you think it's the
After
right? Yes. Do you think
after
it,
that, that may
after?
be
Yeah, yeah,
that may
yeah.
be
After that.
okay, but not right now. After
Okay.
that, yes, yeah. But first step is just to let's say to get it working the same way with React. And again, I told you before, lay the foundations.
Okay, got it. Guys, do you have any questions? Igor, do you have answer to your question now?
Yes, yes, thank you. I have a few little questions. First of all, in which way would you deliver new rebuilt components to your customers?
Basically, delivering new components is delivering a template. Yeah, I'm going to deliver the template, and then it's just let's say I'm gonna show you once. It's just an application replace design, refresh design. That's how new templates are delivered. I'm going to deliver you an NTF, notes template file. And then you can say refresh design, which will get all the new design elements copied over to your design, replacing the old ones. Or I'm going to make a replace design, which will replace all design elements.
In which way I have a little additional question. In how you test that new design you provide to your customers are well enough? It could contain some mistakes or broken forms or broken components.
You don't have any testing in there. Basically, you do it. There's a testing. It's testing by hand. So basically, you're going to check that and then you test that. There's no test case. There are no test cases on that on the front end. You don't do any component tests or whatever. Basically, you don't have that in the design.
I understand.
Okay, Daniel, it's a question to you as well. So I think in this case we must to have a lot of manual QA. So I think we need to discuss additional QA person to do this stuff. So it's another question, and let's discuss it separately, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, and in any way, I don't think we must to avoid any automated tests. We will, Igor,
No,
I think
next
we need.
thing, stop.
Yeah. Okay.
If we can build automated tests that we can use, I'm the first one to do that. Yeah. So if we have
Okay.
automated tests for the front end, and we can use automated tests for the front end,
yes,
I'm fine with that. Yeah, because that's one of the things we're basically we're right now. I want to simplify it, not make it more complex. I want to simplify. So automated tests for me is simplifying it too. Yeah.
Yes, of course. But to do this, we need to separate the data and the logic on the UI as more as possible. But
Yep.
let's think how to do it, and probably we will mock somehow pages.
I don't
where
think that's something for me. Forms and pages is something for me that's way in the future. Yeah, that's what I told in the document. Basically, what I want to do is I want to rebuild that from the outside in. So this one here, yeah, rebuilding the logic within the documents, within the forms, is the last thing we will do. The very last thing we will do.
Yes, I got it. So okay, guys, yeah.
Before that, I want to have this working again, this working, the create buttons working, that one. This main working. I want to see that I'm opening all the tabs, that I can use that. I want to see that I can rebuild the navigation, and I want to see this here working, the views, displaying views. Forms, and whatever happens to that forms, and whatever happens to the business logic behind that forms, and to the data in that forms, that's the last thing.
Okay, in this case, we must to concentrate on two things. First, we must to integrate React somehow into pages. It's a first question. And next thing, it's start to we need to specify a list of components which we would like to rewrite as quick as possible, or at first or in first order. And let's start to do that.
Right.
And we need to, okay, we will work with Ivan to understand how we can start to do our job here with it, and probably he will help us. If not, we will need your support and or Sergey support to build or start developing. I know that you have some virtual machine where you have a sandbox where we can try to do something, but we are going to have at least 3 developers, and all of them will need some environment. And guys, let's think how to how to make it possible to work on this without a Domino server. Probably it's possible. Let's think. And for example, to have only integration environment where we put and test components which we will use here.
Basically, what we can do, yeah, Andrew, is what we can do is we can, for example, build a very simple application from scratch to try to find out how things work. Yeah, let's
Okay.
say, yes, let's say build a simple application and say, okay, how can I make it work so that I for example, that I get that I can code that in here, but that the Domino server delivers that code.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a good idea, and yes, make it as simple as possible. But we will cut off use cases which are possible inside the complex applications. But let's start from something simple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, looks like we have a plan now. Alexander, could you please manage all this stuff and send summary? So with a plan, what we are going to do next.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. And let's try to do it remotely. And if something will not work, probably we will arrange some fly and meeting, face-to-face meeting in not next, probably week after the next, right?
That's possible. That would be possible from my side, yeah.
Okay. Okay, guys. But in this case, I will think today and tomorrow, and if and discuss with Guy. If we will really need it, we will book fly, because as early we will do it, it will be cheaper for us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. When we can have another call? So today is Tuesday. How about to have a daily calls at some time? Guys, what's the best time for you to have a daily calls?
Well, basically, there's no best time for daily calls on my side. But
I see.
yeah.
But probably few days per week. It would be not daily.
Basically, let's say as soon as when you have questions, feel free to ask me through Skype, and we can do that on the fly. Okay.
Yes, we can do it, but I would like to have a daily basis, to do it on a daily basis or day after one day basis, because we must to be prepared to make some report, to prepare some list of questions. Mm-hmm. So it's good these calls are organized us and you as well. So I think it's good to arrange them, probably in a different time. For example, today 9:30, but tomorrow 10:30. I don't know what is. Just let us know when it's more or less good for you. Of course, it's not mandatory. If you don't have any possibility to have a daily call on some specific date, just let us know. That's all. We will write down the letter report, small report, or something like that. So, what about tomorrow? What's the best time for you tomorrow?
One moment, check my calendar. You'll have something to do, basically, so it's not feasible to do tomorrow in the morning. I would just say tomorrow, 17 o'clock, because then you have done your chores, right?
Mm-hmm. 7 p.m.
Yeah, I would do it 7 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay, guys, is it okay for you?
No, sorry.
Igor, Alex?
No, sorry, I can tomorrow.
What about it would be 8 p.m. our time. What about 6 o'clock your time? 6 p.m. Igor, will it work for you?
I should check. I have a meeting in Child Garden.
17 o'clock. That's 5 o'clock p.m. our time.
17. Sorry, 17. I said
Not 7
17.
p.m. That's too late. Yeah.
Okay, it's 6 p.m. our time. Igor,
Okay.
is it does it work for you?
I should check, but I think it will work.
Okay, Alex.
Yes,
Alex.
yes, it
Okay.
works for me.
Okay, let's have a call tomorrow at 5 p.m. Munich time. Tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you guys.
Okay.
Alex, could you please
Yes, I will
send us
create.
summary and create a meeting?
Yes, I will do.
Okay, thank you guys. Have
Thank
a good
you.
day.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
guys.
Yep.
Have a
See
good
you.
day. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.